Welcome back to the Wildly Capable Show. We are going to be talking about having a wildly capable year since we are starting 2026 right now. And the subtitle, or perhaps the whole title of the show, is going to be How to Guarantee Growth.
Mhm.
I think every time we reflect on the past year, we always want to see growth, improvement, something happening. Obviously, if you have kids, growth, like that they're literally getting older, but adults sometimes forget that for themselves. Like we can grow every year, and some years we grow more than others.
Mhm.
And I want to guarantee growth with the conversation we're having today, not from like a militant kill yourself all year, but make it fun and practical.
Mhm.
We've found some ways in our family to do this. So we're going to guarantee growth for everyone listening today to this episode through a few things that we've been experimenting with our own family over the past several years. We took a unexpected break from the podcast at the end of last year. It was actually the rest we so desperately needed. And we're excited to jump back in. I don't want to like start the episode and not even acknowledge that we ghosted everyone for like 5 weeks, right around Thanksgiving time and then through December. And it honestly was a restful period for me. And I'm not sure if we're going to do that again this year, but just know that we're coming back to you regularly every week from now here on out through the rest of the year. And yeah, thank you so much for listening and being here with us, because this podcast is so fun for us. And I love the beginning of the year energy.
Mhm.
I know sometimes like people are like, I don't want to talk about new goals when it's the dead of winter. And I totally get that too. But for us, everything starts over financially in the new year. Like it just, we have birthdays early in the new year. We're settling into that energy. So
Mhm.
let's jump into the conversation. I have 5 bullet points here. I'm going to bring up and we can just discuss as we've talked about for this show. So, the first place anyone starts when you're talking about sort of planning for the new year with your family or for yourself is one, defining your weak spots, like being really honest and defining where you have opportunities for growth. So that is something we do regularly. I would say quarterly, probably for our family. We did a whole episode on how to run your family like a business and doing what's called a SWOT analysis, where you look at strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. But this is a great time of year to do that. If you haven't listened to that episode yet, I will link it down below in the show notes. But for right now, let's just do a brief overview, not of the whole process, but like what does it look like to identify our weaknesses and then use that as a launching pad to set goals for each member of the family.
Mm. I'm going to even just start out by saying this is going to be tough if you're not regularly talking. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough for couples that are not regularly discussing their future, the things that they're working on. It sounds easy in theory. And if you're listening to this and you're like getting all charged up to go run to your spouse to say, what are our weaknesses? Just know you're probably going to be met with some resistance.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And so I just want to start out by saying that.
Yeah.
Now, if you're both listening to this together and you're both getting fired up and you want to get to a whiteboard together, awesome, right? That's great. But just one, be equally yoked in your motivation. and so that's the first caution I just want to throw out there as I heard you talking about this. And define your weaknesses. So our process for that is never like perfect. So I don't expect anyone else's to be.
Mm-hmm.
But it's very powerful because it starts the conversation of where do we want to go, right? And that's ultimately what we're trying to get to with this conversation. Like, where do we want to go? What are our goals? What are we going to work towards? What's some of the big things we want to accomplish? And defining the weak spots. Now, what this doesn't mean is like, I'm not good at basketball. It's like, well, do you need to be good at basketball?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not good at basketball, but like, I don't really need to be good at basketball. What we're really talking about here is academics. We're talking about spiritual life, marital life. We're talking about health and fitness. Have we had a health scare this year? Have we like had some ambitious goal that we want to accomplish that we missed, that we want to try? Like, what caused us to make that mistake or miss that opportunity or that goal? Finding those kinds of weaknesses, things that are dragging us back, holding us back. A ceiling could be a financial ceiling. It could be a job that needs some tweaking or adjustments, or a business decision, or a risk you need to take, or the weakness can kind of materialize in a lot of different ways. And I feel like that's a good place to kind of start this conversation is, what is a weakness?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And like for me, it's very easy for me to identify it because I feel it every day. Silly things like, honestly, laundry's a weakness for me, and it holds up my family life because in a moment of like we got to get out the door, my kids are like, I have no clothes. I'm like, you do have clothes, they're just clean and they're unorganized and you can't find them, and it creates chaos, and in that moment I get flustered, and it's so silly, but it's like a real homely task I'm bad at, and it impacts my kid's life in a negative way, and it's like, okay, how can I get better at that this year? Obviously bigger things too, right? Like I did a huge weight loss, fat loss, body recomposition journey near the end of last year. I'm still in that journey. That's still a goal of mine. I wouldn't say it's a weakness, but it's an opportunity for growth that I'm still pursuing. And I have to pursue that in a fresh way. So maybe that's the hard part. So your weaknesses, I would encourage everyone to look at it through categories, like Joey said, academic and learning for your kids, but also for yourself. Like, what do you want to learn about? What do you want to read? This year for myself, I decided I want to really dig into history, and I want to read a ton of books that teach me about the old way of doing things, or just like show me what that life looked like so I can take the good and marry it with the good of today and just live my life. That's interesting to me. It's
Mm-hmm.
growing me intellectually. That's a goal of mine. But for your kids, is there a subject that they need to work on? Is there
A good example. Last year, a weakness, it's no longer a weakness,
mm,
for Ruth was reading.
mm,
And you and I looked at each other and we said, hey, this is a weakness and we're going to work on this.
mm,
And we focused on that because we believe that reading is very important for overall success in life. It's a big deal to know how to read, to be capable of internalizing information. It's a
yeah,
big deal.
that was 2 years ago,
How
actually.
was it really?
It's crazy to think about. I'd say last year my academic focus was math.
Okay.
But yeah, picking something is super, super helpful. And it'll be obvious. Like if you have a child coming of age, like we do, 5, 6 years old, I guess that's not coming of age, but like school age, reading is a great
Yep.
academic goal
Gosh,
for
it was
them.
2 years ago.
So look through the categories: academic and learning for yourself and your kids. Obviously, homeschool families, this applies differently for us because we have a stronger maybe pulse check on that, and it's our responsibility to own. So really taking that responsibility seriously. Our health category is huge in our family.
Mm-hmm.
And this looks like, what are health goals that we want to achieve, maybe fitness goals that we want to achieve? How do we want our food to help support our life goals? How do we want our home to support our health? This is really big. There's always home improvements that could be made.
That's a weakness of ours.
Well, yeah,
Or
physical
mine.
home improvements, but there's always things that could be made to improve the house. So like getting your air ducts cleaned, making sure that you don't have like old dusty moldy carpet in your bedrooms, things like this, where it's a health goal but it doesn't look like taking a vitamin. It can be really powerful to identify these things, because subtle things, maybe you need a water filter in your home, maybe you need an air filter, maybe you need something in your surroundings to support your health. Maybe your lighting needs adjusted. You have too much artificial LEDs and they flicker without your brain, or without you noticing. Little things like that. Okay, it all falls in the health category. Goal of how can we support growth? Community goals for yourself and for your kids. How can you foster good friendships and relationships for your kids and for you as your spouse? I know for us, we talked about really leaning into friendships this year, and we've dreamed up plans of like a monthly game night, or how can we utilize babysitting time to like meet up with friends, and how can we identify like who our last minute go grab a pizza like people are, so that we can get into better rhythms of connecting with folks outside of our home. We've been so insular for so long. Because I don't know, it's what happens when you are raising children. And not saying we haven't had friends over and whatnot, but like we want it to be a priority this year.
When we think about filling our calendar, you and I, a weakness that we identified is that like social encounters and hang out with friends was not the top of the priority list. And that's what we identified was, hey, we believe it is powerful to be in community with people, that we should be in community with people, and taking a real step towards intentionally socially engaging with our friends is important for us. And that's, to some people, that will sound insane.
Yeah.
Right? Like, what do you mean you want to hang out with your friends? We all want to hang out with our friends, and we don't have enough time to hang out with our friends. Okay, well, I don't know how to explain it other than maybe some people will relate with us that was not the top of our list. We would like work, and then we would like hang out with our kids, clean, eat. I'm running. You're like doing health journey. We're doing fitness. We've got things happening, podcasts to record. And then by the end of it, we're like, I don't want to hang out with anyone. And months will go by and we don't hang out with anybody. And it's wild.
Or we hung out with separate friends.
Or separately, not together. Yeah.
Yeah. And that's kind of the goal, is like, as a couple, let's go hang out with other groups of friends.
That's right.
So we can experience things together, so that all of our social calendar isn't separated.
That's right.
That starts to feel very taxing.
That's right.
It's like, if you're going out and socializing, I'm home with the kids. I don't know. It just, or vice versa. And it's not that it's bad. We still have that. But we have that more built in. Like, you have your run buddies, I have my workout girls, and then we're trying to layer on top of that.
That's right.
And so, yeah, that's a perfect example of like a goal in community. I have community goals for my kids as well.
Yep.
And spiritually, like, again, how are we pressing forward? What are we doing? Are we like reading the Bible as a family? Are we attending church regularly? Are we putting worship music on in the morning to set everyone's tone and the mood for the day? Are we having conversations with our kids about all of these important topics of life? So these are the categories. You're defining weaknesses, opportunities for growth, setting goals. Maybe you have a goal for each member of your family in each category, but I'm guessing that you're probably going to have one main focus for each person.
Yeah.
And it's going to be obvious to you once you spend some time really thinking and digging through what that looks like. So that's a broad place to start. But obviously, to have growth, you have to have something you're measuring. And this is the best way to do it. Writing it down on a piece of paper, having not just one coffee date with your spouse, but maybe 2 or 3, and chewing over these things. These are not quick conversations to be had. Welcome to 2026. If you want to have a nourished year, let me give you my best tested recommendations. I've been tweaking my supplement protocol over the last year. In 2025, I tried a ton of ancestral supplements products, and I found the ones that work best for myself, and I'm hoping that my feedback, you can apply it to your own life. So, number 1, if I was looking for some sort of overall overarching supplementation for vitamins, like a vitamin and everyday multi, I would go with their beef liver. So beef liver is amazing and has CoQ10 and has bioavailable iron. It has choline. It has folate. Okay, you guys, it has so much in it. It's rich. If you're not eating liver on a regular basis, then supplementing it with it is a wonderful, wonderful thing. The next thing I would say, if you are someone who wants to age gracefully, have strong hair, skin, and nails, have strong gut lining integrity, I would reach for collagen. Think about all the reasons why we love those stocks and broths, and when we're eating whole real food, it's because the collagen in there. Add that to your protocol for an extra boost. I think collagen by Ancestral Supplements would be my go-to for graceful aging, and it is. I take it all the time. Colostrum, you guys, this is, I love this because they make it so affordable and they make it so clean and so ethically. They have a calf first commitment, but colostrum I'm going to use for healing and sealing the gut for overall immune boosting properties. I somehow didn't get the crazy sickness my entire family did, and I think it's because I take colostrum on a regular basis. And then finally, the Ancestral Greens supplement is like my gut microbiome's best friend. This is amazing because it has superfoods from both plant foods and animal foods, and all of their plant food supplements, their greens and their reds, are all organic. And then they also have a pre and probiotic in here as well. So it's just like the ultimate gut boosting thing. Okay, guys, that is my lineup. I also take their minerals because if you're drinking filtered water, you need to be adding back in minerals. I'm just out currently. That's how often I'm taking this stuff. So that is my protocol for ancestral supplements. I cannot tell you how much this company has blown me away with their research, with their integrity, with everything that they're working towards. They have some really exciting stuff coming out. And so so honored to have them be a part of this podcast. You can go to ancestralsupplements.com/homegrown and see everything that I'm talking about. Read the reviews, read the testimonials, see for yourself. And then you can save 15% off when you use the code Homegrown. So you're going to get all of this at a very affordable rate. You can tune in your supplement routine in 2026 and feel amazing while you're doing it. We had the most fun at our holiday market on Hazelmeyer Goods while we weren't physically in person with y'all, as I packed everyone's orders and shipped them off for the Christmas and Thanksgiving season. I just loved seeing what you guys put together. I had a vision for what I would want to open on Christmas morning, and that's what I picked out for our storefront. And seeing your orders come in with things like our beautiful holiday tallow balm, our candles, our fresh new soaps. We have a sea salt and juniper soap and a raw honey and frankincense soap. Seeing all of these orders come through and just knowing that they were presents under your guys' Christmas trees, I don't know, it just got me really excited. And I loved blessing this community with quality products made from vendors here right in the United States, small batch items, things that have been curated and thought through with the utmost intention. So thank you so much for supporting our little shop during the holidays. We have more coming. We have an exciting spring line that we're planning, and we just love the shop so much. If you have never shopped with us before, I love our sourdough proofing baskets. They're the most unique thing on the market. You can go check those out if you're a sourdough girl. If you like coffee and tea, which I know most people do, our tea selection of all organic and fair trade teas is just unreal. We only have a few teas on the website, but they're the most incredible versions. We have an English breakfast. We have a ceremonial grade matcha. We have a lavender Earl Grey. We have a cranberry orange. We have a chai that is just unreal. Okay, you guys, go over to Shop the H as in Hazelmeyer, shoptheh.com, and you can use the code Homegrown at checkout for 10% off your order. And thank you so much for supporting our family shop. The next bullet point I have, which kind of plays into this, all these kind of like stack on each other, but a really powerful thing we've used in our home is something called the family challenge. It's usually 30 days of something.
Mm-hmm.
So we really started this back when I did 75 hard, and we had this conversation with one of our kids, and she's like, I could do that. And we did a 30 hard. We didn't do 75 days for her, but we did a 30 hard challenge for one of our kids. And she had like 5 goals she had to hit each day. That was the year we really focused on reading. She had to read 20 minutes a day. And it took her reading from barely first grade to probably into second grade level reading at the time she was in like first grade. So it was fine. But it really took her like almost a full grade level above. And it gave her a lot of confidence. And it was just that repetitive every single day, no breaks, no weekends. 20 minutes a day reading. She also did some other things like make her bed, spend some time outside. And it was cool. It was really cool to watch. But it was 30 days of a challenge. We've done this with the entire family as well. We're now in our second January where we're doing a 31-day sugar cleanse. The whole month of January, we're cutting out sugar. We do not add sugar into any of our food. We don't eat something if cane sugar or honey or maple syrup or any sweetener is in the ingredient list. And we're just eating regular whole foods. We're still eating bread, sourdough, and we're eating fruit. So we're not going no carb, but we're not doing any added sugar. And our kids know January is the month we do the sugar cleanse.
And we're a team.
It's a conversation. We're doing it together.
Yeah. I wanted to just drop a pin and to really clarify how we're kind of treating this conversation as a whole. The first part of this was goal setting, identifying weaknesses. Now we're getting to some tactics.
Yeah.
How do we make this happen practically, right? We've got our goals. Sorry to kind of go backwards a little bit. We've got our goals. We've got our weaknesses. How do we make it happen? And so a family challenge is a tactic and a powerful one. Creating a like mob mentality for good is an amazing thing.
Yeah.
And so the family challenge, the examples that we've given, the 75 hard, 30 hard, you can do a 10 hard depending on the age range. And what that looks like is identifying some growth areas, lead measures, things you can do in your control that are going to be predictive of success or growth in that weakness area. and then a reward should you be successful to maintain these lead measures over a select period of time with strict accountability. So that's kind of the formulation, like the formula of the hard kind of program, right? And so for Ruth or for Ray or for Sophie or for you, it's pick a few different items. And if you do them, then Ruthie got we gave her like a stuffed animal that she really wanted or something like that.
Yeah, I don't even
Right.
remember.
And you could reward with a out to dinner. You could reward with a, depending on the age, right? Our 14, 15-year-old, if we were going to do this, would probably want money or like DoorDash card or something.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what we're talking about. That's what we're looking at. And so the challenges are powerful. Sugar cleanse. We did a challenge as a group community a couple of years back with Homegrown. I can't remember what.
Yeah, we did a real food reset.
Those kinds of things, highly recommend. This is a great time of year to do it. Just because January 1 has passed, doesn't matter. Kick it off. Do it. Pick the month. Pick month of February. It's the shortest month of the year, the easiest to handle, easiest to digest. Get on board a challenge as a team, as a family. It's really good to do that, and it drives unity. It drives focus, and you're actually going to start to see some really awesome results, and it's going to be fun while you do it. Now, won't be fun the first 5 days. Do a sugar cleanse, ain't going to be fun to start. A lot of whining, a lot of really upset, a lot of that purging of the system, the cravings. It's a real thing. Takes
really
some time.
Mm-hmm.
And once what is today? The 6th of January, as we're
Mm-hmm.
talking, we are now kind of over the hump. And so even I don't have the sugar cravings that I would normally have, but super awesome. Highly recommend it. Anything else with family challenges? Sorry to kind of jump in there.
No, that's great. Just more examples would be like if this isn't already a rule, no TV on the weekdays, like only something on the weekends. In the past, we've done really strict one grocery trip per week because as a family that lives way too close to a major grocery store, we were doing like multiple trips a week for like, oh, we're out of this and we're out of that. And we were losing the skill of making do with what we had. And so it's like, as silly as it sounds, it'd be like, hey, we're running out of this. And then our kids would be like, we need more tortilla chips. And I'm like, no, we don't. You can wait till next week. And just that sort of like delayed gratification, making do with what you have, spending less money, being really strategic about each grocery trip was really helpful. We're going to get back into that. No eating out for an entire month would be another example. You're going to find things in your family that work for you, but I think doing a 30-day challenge is really powerful. Another tactic to guarantee growth in 2026 is this unique thing that Joey and I are still fleshing out, but it happened kind of serendipitously last year when we realized that there's perhaps like a better way to celebrate birthdays in our home.
And I think in everyone's home.
That out.
I think in everyone's home.
Yeah, I'll let you dive in.
Birthdays are this weird day where we want to get a bunch of people together and eat a bunch of cake and give people gifts and a bunch of almost like simulated dopamine, right? And young kids, you see how negative this actually is for them when they crash at the end of the day. They're crying, they're throwing a fit.
Bernstein Bears Too Much Birthday.
There you go.
It's a book.
It's a real thing. And I've been always searching for a better way. One, we don't love the huge like indulgence on treats anyway. Oh, but it's your birthday. You know what? But like, is it actually the best thing for your kid? It's like, well, they're excited about it. They're excited about it for like 2 hours. And then you feel like a failure as a parent. Your kids are disappointed. By the end of their birthday, they're probably, and sometimes yelling, this is the worst birthday ever, when you did everything they wanted to all day.
Mm-hmm.
Happens at Christmas too, by the way. So I'm trying to figure out how to navigate that too. But birthdays, we wanted to create real dopamine, real, like good, real wins
Clean
for our kids.
Dopamine.
Clean, unlaced, fentanyl-free dopamine. Right?
Yeah.
Maybe that was too far. But anyways, the epic birthday was started by a 5-year-old or 4-year-old innocent request. Ray looked at me when I asked her what she wants to do for her birthday. And I was considering the idea of, maybe I take her on like a camping trip, or we do like a run together, or I don't know. I was thinking of like, what would be a way to do some kind of effort together where she could almost like earn an exciting milestone on her birthday. And in her innocent way, looked at me and said, Daddy, I want to go on tour. She's a big performer. She's always had a desire to be a dancer. She wants to be on stage. This is just who she is. It's who she is. And I'll speak that over her. I'll say she wants to be a performer. She wants to be on stage. If you come to our house and visit and have dinner with us, you'll probably have Ray turn music on and start dancing so you can watch her. It's just going to happen.
She will dance for you.
She will, absolutely. And she just wants to. She wants to dance. And if she falls and makes a mistake, she'll talk to you about how she made a mistake, how she can get better. She's just driven to be a performer. Anyways, 4-year-old looks at me. I want to go on tour. I want to be on stage. I want to perform. And my initial gut reaction was like any really poor, lame dad, which was me in that moment. And I was like, okay, Ray, can't really do that. But what about like a camping trip? And she's like, yeah, but I really want to go on tour. And I sat there and I thought about that. And I just thought, you know what? I was like, what if my older brother happens to be a senior pastor of a church. I was like, what if I call up Luke and I say, hey man, can I like borrow your church stage and use it so your niece can dance? And he was like, yeah. I was like, all right.
Easy.
So scheduled it. We booked it. We reached out to a bunch of trusted friends that I knew would cheer for Ray and lift her up, that love her, that because here's my thought, like she's going to go out there on this big, it's like a proper big stage. It's not, we're not talking like a, 50-person church. We're talking about a pretty big church, and a big high, like, 4.5-foot stage that's got lights, big speaker systems, like the whole thing. Right. And, I put her back in a green room. I got her some snacks and drinks. She rehearsed a few songs that she wanted to dance to. And, we did a dry run on the stage. And then I met with all the people in the audience. I was like, listen, gang, this is about to be a weird moment for Ray. She's a 4-year-old turning 5. And she's about to come on stage by herself and dance in front of all of you. Okay. There's 15 people there?
Yeah.
15, 20. Anyways. And I was like, listen, she's going to come out and dance for all of you. And if she comes out here and freezes, it has to be part of the show. We're all cheering for her. We're excited. And I had a secret shopper, right? I looked at my next oldest daughter and I said, hey, Ruth, if she comes out and freezes up, you are going on that stage and you are acting a fool. Because what this day can't be is a major loss, right? And that was my big fear. Well, long story long, she runs out on stage, crushes it, dances, and she's already talking about how for her next birthday, what song she wants to do for her next performance. And I'm down for that to be her epic thing once a year for now. And we then looked at each other afterwards. Her birthday was this epic performance. Her adrenaline must have been going wild as she ran onto that stage and danced in front of everybody. And at the end of it, everyone was cheering for her, and we got her flowers. And we went back to my parents' house, which is nearby, for like 20 minutes to have some food. And we did serve a small cake or a pie or something. And that was like the afterthought, right?
Mm-hmm.
The blow out the candles, the singing was like the afterthought. The major event was Ray is doing something that she's never done before, and she's going to crush it. And gosh, it was awesome. She talks about it to this day. I think she'll remember it for the rest of her life. I will remember it for the rest of my life. I've got video of it. And the idea was born. Let's do epic things for our kids' birthdays. Let's get them to do something that makes them a little bit uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do something that they will be able to wield as confidence as they enter into this next year of life. Let's give them a strong foundation to grow from, rather than this weird, like synthetic, like just lame dopamine that is fleeting.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where the epic birthdays were born. And so my challenge to all parents is do epic birthdays. It doesn't have to be, it's going to be different for every kid, right? So for Ruthie right now, our plan for her birthday in May, as she turns 8, 9, 10. Oh my gosh. As she turns 10, she is going to create an art show.
Yes.
And we're going to invite a bunch of close friends of ours, close friends of hers. And she's going to set up a whole art show. Maybe I'll have it in my office, and we can set up easels that people can walk through, or we'll set it up at our house. Doesn't matter. And she will walk a group of people around, explain the art. We can ask questions. And it's going to be so vulnerable for her. She will have to work really hard. She's going to create a story of like what's happening and different eras of her life. Like we'll coach her on what an art show, kind of like how she can make that amazing. Anyways, that's what hers is going to be. Ray's will be another performance. I can almost guarantee it. Sophia's been a little bit more challenging, to be very vulnerable and honest. Hard for us to figure it out. We're working with her on it though, and we are challenging her to think about it. And here's why this is awesome for an older kid. Okay. Younger kids, you kind of help them do it and you kind of pick it for them, or they pick it and you just make it happen. And there's some innocence there of like, I want to go on tour. Okay, let's do it. With a 14-year-old, there's a bit of a challenge of like, what are your dreams? Let's practice that. What is a big thing you want to accomplish? Let's practice that. Let's get you into a habit of setting an audacious goal for yourself, because that's something that for the rest of your life will be valuable for you. She might do something where she's, maybe we record a podcast with her and that's a big thing that she wants to accomplish. Maybe it's a launch a fashion brand, or it's a blog that she's going to write, or it's a who knows, right? Whatever that is, it might not be something she does for the rest of her life, right? Ruthie might not be doing art for the rest of her life. Ray might not be dancing for the rest of her life. But this idea of chasing after something epic will be something that I hope that she does for the rest of her life, in whatever form or shape that she's, looking to chase. So anyways, long story long, epic birthdays. I'm going to continue to try to sell people on it. I'll probably bring it up in every podcast because I just think it's so awesome, and it's good for all of us to be chasing epic things. And by the way, this is not just for kids. It's like, hey, adults, what are you doing for your birthday? Are you going out for some drinks with your friends so that are you having a cake? Are you, surprise party? Cool. But like, what if you chased after something epic for your birthday? What if you did? And what would that be? What would that look like? Have you thought about it? If it scares you to even consider, it's like maybe it's time to start thinking about it.
Yeah, I love that. That kind of bleeds into our next bullet point here, which is plan something epic for yourself. And this is aside from the birthday experience. This is something that you've been doing year over year. I've kind of fallen into. And this conversation is that scary thing. What is that scary thing that you want to do? For people who are athletically prone, sometimes it's like a big race you sign up for, something you're training for, something that you can look back and say, I ran that like 50-mile race all uphill. It was insane. I'm thinking of your last year's epic thing, or you went moose hunting and there's very few people that I know that have killed a moose with a bow. It's insane. So you've done these epic things in a year that really mark it. I know you and I both consider like our birth experiences with our kids as sort of these epic moments.
Listen, if you're a mom and this is not for the dads.
Did you birth a child this year? That's freaking epic.
Childbirth is epic. Okay. Home birth, freaking epic. Okay. However, I will say there's something very, it's less of like I'm going to do something epic and have a baby. You feel it when it's done.
Yeah.
But then it can be fleeting, because then you're like, what's the next epic thing I'm chasing after if I'm not having more babies?
Right.
And I'm like, you got to find something. Okay. Men, if you haven't picked something, then you've never experienced it. Like women kind of have this baked in. They've got an advantage with childbirth is wild. It's crazy having kids. If you don't have kids, I know I'm annoying you by even talking right now. If you have kids, you're sitting over there being like, preach, brother, because you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Go find something epic to chase after. And what I would say is, epic for me can be defined by something you've never done before and something that you could and may fail. If you're like, I want to go to a really fancy dinner and it's going to be expensive. I'm sorry, but in my opinion, that's not epic.
You can't fail that
Is it
necessarily.
amazing? Sure, it's amazing. But Ray, when she stood on that stage to dance in front of those people, she could have failed. And quite frankly, the odds were stacked against her. The odds are stacked against a 4 turning 5-year-old going on stage and dancing for 15 minutes straight by herself to things that she choreographed herself, right? There is a high chance of failure. Signing up for an ultra marathon, there is a high chance of failure. Signing up to do 75 hard, home birth, like there is chance of failure. And failure for home birth looks like, getting transferred to the hospital, or like, I mean, there's some horrific failure opportunities there, but like the thought of it is present. And when it's complete and it's done, the fulfillment is enormous, right? And so, anyways, finding something epic is awesome.
Yeah, the birth one's tricky because obviously we're not implying that anyone failed if they had to transfer. Like,
no.
But I understand what you mean. You go in, and I think it's totally appropriate to go in with a goal of like, I want to have an unmedicated birth, and this is the goal, or I want to avoid this situation, and this is the goal. Sometimes it's out of your hands. I just don't want people to listen to that and be like, oh my gosh, what if I don't want a home birth? It's whatever you set your mind to that you're working really hard towards.
That's
people
right.
that have home births, most of the time, they have this goal. They're working towards it. It's a very active thing that they're doing.
Failure is a harsh term to be used in the same setting as
but the
birth.
reward you feel after any positive to life people are coming out of that birth experience is amazing. And I definitely think you can set that for yourself. And obviously this all has nuance in it. So yeah, just know that we're not saying you failed, because trust me, we've experienced all types of birth in this family. But this is an interesting one. So I'll give my very vulnerable example, and it's like something that I'm a little scared about. But like your epic thing that you're planning, I think is your race, right?
My event.
Your event. Race. Sorry, it's not a race. It's a last man standing run.
That's right.
Right? So you have goals for yourself of specific mile markers you want to hit.
If I fail, that means I've done less than 62 miles. If I succeed, it's over 62. And then like my stretch goal is 100 miles. If I can do 100 miles, it's like I'm walking out of there or stumbling or crawling out of there very, very fulfilled.
Yeah, you're excited.
Yeah.
So and you're training for that and you're working towards that. And luckily for you, it happens kind of towards the beginning of the year. You'll probably set another epic goal at some point.
That's right.
The same thing happened last year. You ran 2 ultras, and after your first one, you were like, heck yeah, let's go. For me, my something epic is, it's not going to culminate in anything right now. But I had this thought the other day when I was like laying in bed, and I was like, I was a dancer for a few years growing up, and I loved dance, and I loved seeing my daughters dance. And the one thing I never got to do was go on point. And I did ballet, but I did the evaluation. I like got sized up, and then immediately my parents requested that I take a different hobby. And I did that. So I thought to myself, why can't I, this is going to sound so silly, but like, why can't I go do a private lesson for a few months and work up the skills and build back the muscle and work on my technique and go on point? Like, what is stopping me? There are plenty of ballet dancers in their 30s who are on point. I'm not taken out of it by my age. But it's just, I would never have that thought process if I wasn't searching for something new and challenging. And like, what benefit does that add to my life? My kids don't care. I mean, it might be cool to like see me dance if they want to, but like, this is purely for my own sake. I want to be able to have the skill. I think it would be so fun. I dream one day of like building out a ballet studio in our house someday, not in this house, but in a future home. And it's like, gosh, wouldn't that be so fun to have had the skill to be under someone else's guidance, to train for this thing that I so deeply love. Like, I love dance. And I texted you about it, and you were like, yeah, that sounds great.
I want to. So, what benefits? The benefit's enormous. Okay, we want to normalize in our family of chasing dreams and chasing after big goals and accomplishing things that we could fail. That's what we want to
Yeah.
normalize.
Mm-hmm.
And our kids watching you do something like that is so valuable for
Mm-hmm.
them, because then when they are moms working, rearing, like the whole thing, they're what's normal to them will be at a higher capacity because we worked harder to pave the way for them.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, my kids watching me cross the finish line of an ultra marathon
Mm-hmm.
is just as powerful for them as it is for me. It's normal to do crazy things in this family. It's normal. It's normal that we have a podcast, that we've got, you know, businesses, that we go on big hunting excursions, that we like, it's normal. It's normal that you and I are going out to shoot our bows together, and that we like train together, and that you're going to go on point. Like, that's normal here. And that's what we're looking to do. And so wildly capable starts with modeling it for our kids. And that's one of the ways that we're going to do it. And so, no, I think you having something that you're chasing, that the kids can see, even if it's in their peripherals. It's not like they're watching you every day. It's a big deal.
Yeah. Plan something epic for yourself. For that's mostly for the parents, but obviously for the kids too.
Absolutely.
We have the way that can be accomplished with kids, by the way, is really cool camps. If it's not something that you can have direct instruction on, put your kid in a camp.
Mm-hmm.
Finances willing. I know last year we put kids in a horse camp, which was really fun to see. They got to learn how to be around large animals, ride horses, trot. They did the whole thing. We did cooking camps for the kids. It ended in like a competition, just really fun experiences where it's like they don't necessarily get that from just you and I, but putting them under the instruction of someone else for an isolated period of time, a 1 week thing where you can hit it really hard,
We take our kids skiing
is
every year.
epic. True. Skiing, ski lessons, doing things. Maybe they'll accomplish a new run this year. They'll do the double black diamond, whatever. It's epic. It's cool. So
We teach
that's
our
what that
kids
can
to
look like.
shoot when they're 10. Like, there's just a lot of things.
Oh, yeah. You'll be taking Ruth out this year.
That's right.
Taking her squirrel hunting. Okay, the final bullet point here under this guaranteed growth plan for 2026 is my last sort of encouragement is to set a goal to improve something in your physical surrounding. I mostly mean your home and your yard and your area where you dwell, but maybe it's in your office or you have a secondary space that you're in charge of. But I really think elevating your physical surrounding in some capacity is really important to do year over year. Maybe you're decluttering a space, maybe you are rearranging furniture, maybe you're painting,
Mm-hmm.
maybe you're replacing flooring or you're updating something in your home. But having something to where you can look and be like, okay, this is the goal, this is what we're working towards. Having a refreshed space, I think, is so powerful. It's something you can look back on the end of the year and say, hey, we did that thing, and I'm happy we made that change. And this could even be like revamping your closet, like your physical surroundings. Maybe you change the way you dressed or you change the clothes that you have. You are affecting, I believe, your mood, your motivation. And it's just a really like,
It creates a sense of progress in your
yeah,
life. And it's a
yeah,
reminder. You walk by that freshly painted kitchen, or those new cabinets, or that, like, the backsplash that you were waiting to install, or the new carpet, the new floor, whatever. It shows that progress. Hey, I replaced the deck boards, or we pressure washed and cleaned, or there's a progress feeling of that. It's good.
cleaned up our yard.
That's right.
We took out a bunch of landscaping. I know we did that one year. We were like, this landscaping we're not keeping up with. We literally took it out and planted grass. Like it, and it was life
Oh
changing.
yeah.
It's like, let's simplify our home. We've
Mm-hmm.
done that with our every floor of our house. We've done that. And so it's something we continue to do. We've been in this house almost 10 years and we continue to revamp it as time and money allows. And there are lots of free things you can do to revamp your space, just simply arranging things, or like I said, decluttering is gigantic. We were like a one dumpster a year family until we until we reined it in a bit. But man, it's when you are married and you're young and you're taking everything free that everyone gives you all the time, and you're like, oh, a free couch, yes, I need that, yes, I'll take that table, yes, I'll take that.
Next thing you know,
And then you're like, wait a minute, I have to pay to get rid of this stuff because I probably shouldn't have taken it because I didn't really need it. Uh, if you're there, we've been there. And that was that cycle of okay, we need a dumpster. Luckily, I don't think we're to that place anymore. We really stopped saying yes to things and simplified our home. But revamping and improving your physical surroundings will make you feel refreshed. You don't have to do this January 1 or February or whatever, but plan a time in the year. Maybe it's a garage clean out that
yeah,
will change your summer, and you organize your kids' things so that they're in and out of there without issue. You're not getting bikes down for them. Like, they can be independent. Whatever it is, physical surroundings is super helpful.
I
So,
love that.
yeah, that's kind of our guaranteed growth path for 2026. Again, you're defining your weak spots, you're setting goals, the tactics we talked about, setting that family challenge for a month, uh, treating birthdays as a true milestone, finding a really cool way to celebrate your kid. And it's awesome if it can include a talent of theirs. And then planning something epic for yourself, setting a really hard, scary goal that you're like, I don't even want to really tell people about this, but I'm going to do it. And then improving your physical space, I think, is just like really refreshing.